Hi everyone, my name is Beatrice, opoku-Asare. I share life and self-development hacks on this channel. So welcome to this channel. If you're new, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe. But if you already are used to the videos that I share here, then welcome back again. So today I'm filming from Ghana. So for those who don't know, I'm from Ghana. I live in the US, but I'm from Ghana, and I'm here for a few weeks. And so I thought, okay, I've received many text messages from you all about when am I posting the next video and all that. So I'm not going to slack. I'm going to try and get videos out there. So today I wanted to talk about hard work versus smart work. I hear a lot of questions and thoughts about this, and different people have different positions on this. So I thought today I just want to clarify it and maybe share my own thoughts and how how I kind of progress my work in either of those spaces. So first of all, let's kind of align on a few things. I'm looking here, I have my notes here. I have a different setup, so forgive me if I keep looking here. So the biggest difference between hard work and smart work is in the approach. The approach is the only difference between working hard and working smart. And why do I say that? I say that because ultimately you're trying to achieve the same result or better. You're not trying to work less or not deliver or be lazy when you're trying to work smart. You're trying to achieve the same results or better. So the only difference is in the approach, the how. That is the only difference. You're aiming for the same or better results. So let's talk a little bit about the differences. So with hard work, we see it as you have to work the long hours, you have to have a long to-do list, which means that it's almost like a badge of honor that, oh my gosh, I have 30 things on my to-do list, or oh my gosh, I'm spending so much time on this task. So that is hard work. With hard work also, you're spending a lot of energy. So a lot of energy is going into the work that you're trying to deliver, or the results that you're trying to deliver. So what I'm talking about is the effort that is required to achieve that result is more. And then the planning and the planning piece is a little bit ad hoc, because it's focused on doing more. Let's talk a little bit about the smart work piece. So with a smart work, again, I keep repeating this because it's important. You're not trying to be lazy. You're not trying to be to work less. You're trying to be more efficient, when you're working smart. So what are you doing? You want to use optimum amount of time to achieve that result or better. You want to use optimum amount of energy, or low amount of energy to be able to achieve the same results. And with smart work, you continuously prioritize. If you've not watched my other video where I was talking about prioritization, like you continuously are prioritizing. So you have a prioritized list of things to do and not just a to-do list. And then with smart work, there is consistent planning. You're always planning. You're planning and planning and planning and reprioritizing, right? So it's not like I've prioritized and that's it, I'm done. You're really reprioritizing consistently. So with hard work, the prioritization there is not as well done as with smart work, because in smart work, you often take a step back and think about, how can I achieve this? Is this important? What is the most important thing to do today? Not just the most urgent thing to do today. So those are the differences between, hard work or smart work. Let me also just say that smart work is hard work. It's not, working less, because, where you're spending the energy is in the prioritization, right? So you're spending energy stepping back, prioritizing, re-looking at the work, thinking about what is important, aligning on expectations with, whoever your leader is or whoever you're delivering this work for. So there's a lot more planning in the beginning where, I think it's Einstein who talked about problem solving, that if he had, an hour to solve a problem, he would use 55 minutes of the time planning, right? So the smart work is, leveraging your experiences and how you've done this work in the past to try and do it better, to try and become more efficient as you do it. And so, smart work is not, less work. It's hard work. It is hard work. And you cannot do smart work if you haven't done some hard work in the beginning, right? You get better at doing the work by doing the work. So maybe earlier in your career, you were working hard, or when you're new to a new task, you're working hard on that task. But as you do that task often, you should get better at it, right? Let's use an example of email, right? So let's say, when you go to the workforce, you were given your Outlook, email, and you didn't have any groups formed. You don't have any folders. Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for. You don't have any folders. You don't have an email management cadence going on. Everything is in your inbox. And then 15 years later, you're still doing the same thing. You don't have any folders. You've not categorized your email. You've not set any rules. You don't manage the task. You don't manage the emails. You answer everything every morning, every time of the day you're answering that. You need to get better at email management after 15 years, right? So that is where you're trying to get to. So it means that, smart work, to be able to do smart work, you should have done the hard work. And over time, you keep looking for simple ways to improve, simple ways to prioritize as well. And it comes from, smart work comes from, the hard work, but it comes really where it's coming from is the experience, the expertise, the knowledge, all that is improving, and hence, and your understanding is also improving, and hence now you can actually do the work smarter and not just hard. So again, it's really working towards efficiency. You're trying to work more efficiently. It's not a badge of honor that, oh my gosh, I've worked 24 hours, and I used to say that, so I'm not judging, but I'm saying, what's the point, right? What's the point? Okay, so let's talk about, how I try to work smart, right? And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm just sharing how I do it and what works for me. The thing is, in my mind, I had to have a mindset change that hard work is not the only way to be successful. I'm sure people that you're like, I don't even know how that person got that role, or you're like, I don't even know what that person does, or whatever. But like, it's not only, people don't become successful just because they work hard. It's not the only driver for success. It's important to be successful, but like, that's not the only thing. Like, just because you work hard doesn't mean you'll be the one who will be promoted. Sometimes it's somebody who is good at people management. Sometimes it's somebody who is really good at engaging other people, or bringing people along on their journey, or somebody who is good at managing risk, or it could be so many things. So I had to have a mindset change myself that working hard is not the only driver of success. And that, I just have to grow. If I'm doing something, today in a certain way, in 5 years, I should be doing it differently. I should have figured out better ways of doing it. So how do I do it? Number one, again, I've said this so many times, aggressively prioritizing. You have to prioritize what matters most. What is the most important thing? I usually would think about urgent versus important. I think this is in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a very simple grid of what is urgent, what is important, important versus urgent, and like just thinking about, am I doing this just because it's urgent, or am I doing this because this is what is the most important thing to be doing in this very moment? The question I ask myself many times is this important? Is this important? Is this important? And I'm like, no, it's not. So, why am I, sweating over it? Or like, why, am I focusing on that in this specific time? So aggressively prioritizing, also thinking about, impact versus effort. How much of an impact will something make, and how much energy is required for me to make that impact. If the energy required is low or medium, then I know that it's something I can do. But if the energy required is more, then I need to partner somebody, or I need to do things differently. So one question I ask myself: is this important? Is this important? And then am I only doing this because it's a priority? And then you want to focus on finishing the most important thing first. And for those things, you want to do it at like more than 100%. If you have, things that you put together, you realize that it takes, you are thinking, you're spending a lot of time thinking about, okay, this is what is on my to-do list, but what are the top 3 important things, and deciding on those. You have to consider many things before you decide on those. Things like the risk, what level of visibility, is there if that risk actually, materializes, how important is the business strategy, to my work, to my manager's work, to my manager's work. And, you need to decide on what is important, but you have to do those ones first, and not procrastinate and do the ones that you like first. So really practicing that piece and doing what is important first. And the last thing is just to keep practicing. Today, I still struggle. I still work on prioritization. I'm always trying to prioritize. But there are times where I'm like, I know this is what is important, but like, this is what makes me happy, and I want to go and focus on that and do it. So, those are the 3 ways that I try to work smart. You have to get really, really good at prioritizing, aggressively prioritizing, as I would put it. Focus on what matters most and delivering those really, really well. What I've really learned is that when you focus on delivering what is important really, really well, it really adds to your own credibility. It adds to your own, how you're viewed, or the impacts that you're trying to make, because you're really delivering on what is critical. And then lastly, just keep prioritizing. Keep practicing your prioritization skills and focusing on what is important. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments, your own tips and tricks in terms of how you work smart. And working hard is not bad, but I would rather work smart, when I think about it. So do share your thoughts with me in the comments. Thanks for listening.